let us open for this Q&A. I'm sure a lot of you would have a lot of questions over here. So please, we'll be open. I would request all of you to kindly type your questions in this only. Kindly type it in the Q&A section only. Right, I can already see that, there are a few questions already come in. I will start taking them. In the meantime, those of you can still start posting over there. Yes, the first question is there any education requirement like master's or PhD, etc. needed to qualify? So this is a very good question. Again, there is no education requirement. There is no education requirement. You could be just a high school. You could have high skill education. What is important is whether you have skill, experience, or skill or experience to contribute to any startup. You may have, let's say you have just about 12th, so you have studied up to graduation, up to high school, 12th standard, but you are very good at digital marketing. You are very good at social media. So you could easily qualify for this program. Another question we have over here is, what about VEST certification? Do I have to apply for that as well? No, you do not have to apply for VEST certification. Now, this is again a big advantage of this program. We all know that VEST certification is, at times could be quite cumbersome and time consuming. There is no VEST requirement, no certification, no net worth requirement as well. I have an established business here in India, which I would like to, continue. Can I move between India and Canada? Well, as we mentioned earlier, the state requirement in this case is quite flexible. If you can justify, all we need to do is, as long as you are giving, actively involved in your Canadian startup, you are contributing to the Canadian startup, and you can justify why you need to be in India, it is perfectly acceptable. Are there any government grants or benefits under this program? Yes, like we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of grants and benefits available to businesses in Canada, especially startup businesses. When you get a letter of support from a designated entity, it is a certification that you have an innovative business and it is an innovative startup. On the basis of this, you become a part of the startup ecosystem or an exclusive startup club. And this will entitle you, this will give you more exposures to the industry, to the investors. You'll be able to raise funds. You will be able to network with other industry players. And not only that, you can get subsidized loans. The government will give you guarantees. The government will give you grants. You will be able to recruit people easily from the universities and so on and so forth. Are only tech startups eligible under this program? No, this is a myth. Like I mentioned earlier, any kind of business which has an innovative element. I gave an example of how even a tea business or an interior decorator or a doctor could have an innovative business and become eligible for this program. English language requirement is CLB 5, which is intermediate level English with a little bit of practice. All of you will be able to qualify. Apart from $5,000, any other fees? Yes, there are fees. Like I mentioned earlier, the fees would range, anywhere from 75,000 Canadian dollars onwards, depending upon the business. The $5,000 is only the amount for the feasibility study. We'll be happy to share with you if you can get in touch with our relationship managers. We'll be happy to share with you the entire cost structure. The $5,000 is a refundable amount to enable us to undertake a feasibility study to determine whether you qualify for this program, what kind of business you can fit in, what will be the business requirement, and accordingly, what will be the investment required from your end to complete the process. Can I join any business as a co-founder and qualify? Well, again, this is another myth. People feel that they can join any kind of business. This is partly true. You can join any business as a co-founder, but you need to show that you have the relevant skills, qualifications, or experience to contribute to that business and play an active role in the business. So you just can't, for instance, let's say if you are into a trading business, then you cannot simply join an IT development startup. However, if you are in the trading business, you can develop an app which is a marketplace and which digitally connects the customers. So this is the example. We have one more question. Yeah, so you had joined late and wanted to know about the investment amount. So I would request you, we will be sharing the video of this webinar or the earlier webinar where you will get to know more about this process and the amount to be invested. The amount to be you invested, like I mentioned, depends upon the nature of business that you join, and it starts with 75,000 Canadian dollars. And the timeline is typically 3 to 6 months to present to the incubator, and thereafter you get a letter of support, usually within 2 weeks. Once you get a letter of support, you can file for your PR. PR will take about 30 months, but you can also file for the work permit immediately and move there in about 3 to 6 months. Okay, we have a specific question. So I would request all of you who have very, very specific questions with regard to the business or with regard to their profile to, kindly connect with us on a one-to-one basis. Pharmaceutical trading company, yes, you can please connect with us and we can tell you how you can, set up a pharmaceutical trading company. Restaurant and franchise business, yes, we have had a case where somebody was into cloud kitchen and that business was also able to qualify under startup visa. So please connect with us on a one-to-one basis. We are just putting in the link to set up the meeting. Pooja, can you just put the link over there for scheduling the meeting with us? There is a list of ventures easily available to be eligible. Well, like I said, the list is quite exhaustive and it's not, typical list. Only these companies can be innovative. Like I said, any conventional business can also become an innovative business. So we need to look at a specific business, understand how we can introduce an element in that business. Would it be possible for establishing a dentist business? Well, not a traditional business, but if we can add some kind of an element, if there is something innovative in this dentist business, we can definitely work at looking at that. What happens if my investment in the startup? Okay. Yeah. What happens to my investment in the startup? Very important question. So when you are investing in the startup business, if it is you are getting a share in the startup. It depends upon whether you are taking your own startup with other investors or you are joining as a co-founder in another business. Usually you could have anywhere from 10% to 50% equity share in the business. Now, this investment will grow. The startup business, as we know, nowadays we are seeing a lot of startups becoming unicorns. So with the kind of ecosystem available in Canada, with the kind of support system that we provide, you can look at setting up your business successfully in Canada and increasing its valuation. And once the business valuation increases, the value of your investment will also increase. However, having said that, please note that this is a startup business and not all startups can be successful. But what you get is a share in that particular business. Regarding specific business, again, I would franchise the business. You please get in touch with us. Maybe we have, if you're looking at purely franchising business, we have other kind of business immigration programs where you could qualify. Do I have to move to Canada after filing for the PR, or can I just wait in India and move there when my PR comes through? Now, friends, this is a very important question. I would again ask you to look at our video. We'll be mailing the video in which I've answered this question in detail. Tell you briefly, well, it is important that you show that you are contributing to the development of your business in Canada. And ideally, if you are able to move to Canada and start working on your startup business, nothing like it. But having said that, if the nature of your business is such that you can even contribute to the business from offshore, COVID has taught us that we can all work, offshore, we do not be physically present in the office. So in that case, we can definitely make a case for you to be away and still participate in this program. So money investment can be only by liquid, or it can be machinery and equipment also. So like I said, depending upon the nature of the business, you can contribute. Like the government has not set any minimum investment requirement. You need to put in enough money to meet the cost of setting up the startup and applying for your PR. Apart from that, if your business requires machinery and equipment which you can contribute, that should also be acceptable. What happens to my PR application if the business is not able to sustain in Canada? Well, very important question. Like I said earlier, this program is not based on the success of your business. However, having said that, the Canadian government wants to know whether you have taken genuine steps to set up your business in Canada. And usually the process of setting up the business and seeing whether it is successful or not, it takes about 2 to 3 years. And within this much time, you will also get your PR. So till the time you get your PR, you need to plan your business in such a way that you sustain it. It will not necessarily be profitable or successful, but it should be ongoing, and you should be working towards achieving your business plan.